Hey everybody, it's Drew from 198 Methods. I'm back home in Vermont after a busy week in DC, and we wanted to give you a little report on how things went last week with all of our many events. So we'll start off 8 days ago, last Sunday, April 21st, was our first big event in DC. That was the rally with Our Children's Trust at the White House, calling for the President Biden to intervene on behalf of these youth plaintiffs who are suing for the constitutional right to a safe, livable climate. And press his Department of Justice to drop their objections to that case going to trial and let the youth be heard.
A Trump administration move known as a petition for a writ of mandamus.
Monday, we joined calls with a number of groups, including the Sunrise Movement, all around the country, calling for President Biden to declare a climate emergency on Earth Day. He made a number of important announcements throughout the week, including new regulations on coal and gas-fired power plants, the opening of applications to the Civilian Climate Corps, new regulations promoting renewable energy and energy transmission, lots of other good stuff, conservation things in there as well. But he has not yet declared a climate emergency, so we're still waiting for that one, as we've been waiting for a long. Also on Monday was the big People versus City kind of public citizens trial, putting Citibank on trial for the crimes of environmental racism. The main event happened in New York City, but you could watch the whole thing streamed online, and you can still find that link in our blog. As we went on into the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday particularly, there were big protests at Citibank locations all around the country and other big financiers of fossil fuels. I joined the action in Washington, D.C. with our friends from some of the local D.C., Maryland, and Virginia Third Act chapters. But there were also big protests in New York City again at Citibank's world headquarters in downtown Manhattan. And also there were bank actions in San Francisco focused on Wells Fargo and at other locations around the country.
Protest is a non-violent protest. Picket line is about to start outside.
Okay.
Protesting the fact that Citi is the second largest bank funder of fossil fuels in the entire world. And it's also done enormous damage in the Gulf states through funding the fracking and liquefied natural gas. And there was a hearing yesterday, Monday rather, that exposed this terrible environmental impacts of that. And so the letter discusses a lot about Citi's record. We know that all of you...
Give me one moment.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. Hi, Tyler. Yes, I actually have 3 of the protesters here. They're handing us a letter, and they're just explaining that they're going to start the protest outside.
And then as we got to Thursday, we went to the monthly FERC commissioners meeting. We were actually out the night before, Wednesday evening, putting up posters around the FERC office location and also near the home of FERC's current chairman, Willie Phillips. We're asking FERC, have been asking FERC as part of our Unfrack FERC campaign this spring to stop issuing new licenses for LNG export terminals, just like the U.S. Department of Energy has paused permits for new LNG export terminals. But DOE only regulates the export permit part of that. FERC actually gives you the permit to build the thing. And so we've been encouraging FERC to match DOE's commitment to restrict the flow of fossil fuels out of this country by pausing permits for new LNG export terminals while they consider their impact on our climate and environment. So we put up posters to that effect around these various neighborhoods in DC to make sure that the chairman, Willie Phillips, got that message. After our morning speak out, we went into the FERC meeting, into the building. We had folks in the meeting. We did note a couple good dissents from Commissioner Clements. Again, she continues to speak out against some of the work that FERC is doing, but one vote is not enough to block progress on these projects. And so just like she had objected to the GTN Express pipeline the week before, but it didn't stop the pipeline from being approved by FERC, she objected to a couple of the other gas certificates this month, but it will not stop those projects from going into service or being built. So thanks for something, but not enough, Commissioner Clements.
Today, I'm dissenting in part from the orders in C1, C2, and C5, which authorize new natural gas facilities under Section 7 of the Natural Gas Act. I disagree with the Commission's claim in those orders that it has no tool to assess the impacts of greenhouse gas emissions from those projects. This kind of assessment is required by law.
And that was basically it for our week in DC. At the end of Thursday, as we were leaving the FERC meeting, we did stop by the U.S. Supreme Court, where they were hearing oral arguments in the Trump immunity case. This is his argument that as a president at the time, before the inauguration of Joe Biden, that he was still president on January 6, 2021, when he directed the mob to attack the Capitol and interfere with the certification of the election results, and that therefore, because he was acting as president in an official capacity, that he cannot possibly be prosecuted for any crimes related to that. And he can't be prosecuted for anything he did while he was president, because he's immune from all things. Every version of this argument has been struck down by every single lower court. The Supreme Court, even hearing the argument, is basically an indication that they are supporting Trump because they're delaying the trial from going forward until they issue a ruling. And now, as you can see, I'm back home in Vermont, so it's been a busy week, a lot of actions last week. Lots of links in the blog where you can take more action, especially please send comments to FERC opposing that earlier in-service date for the Mountain Valley Pipeline. You can sign petitions opposing the Supreme Court decision to delay and protect Donald Trump from prosecution in the January 6th insurrection case. And you can find lots more opportunities to take action to support the Juliana youth, to speak out at FERC, and to join upcoming protests. All this summer, we'll be holding protests basically every day, all week, all summer long in New York City as part of the Summer of Heat on Wall Street. So you can find out more information about all those things and more in our blog. And please join us out in the streets when you can.